Hey gang, it's your buddy Platt here, and today I'm doing a video I hoped I'd never have to do, but I kind of knew I probably would end up having to do. As you can guess by the title, the robots got to Vegas. What do I mean? A few years back, I'd gone to the nightclub and bar show that's out here every year, and I'd seen a couple of models of drink dispensing machines. They would make very rudimentary cocktails, margaritas, cosmopolitans, what have you. They were small units. They weren't really that fast. They were kind of being sold as, well, if you have a wedding chapel, banquet hall, something like that, and you wanted some basic cocktails, but you didn't want to hire a full-time bartender, what have you, or just kind of limited use or specialized use, small menu, drink menu kind of thing, that's what this was for. I remember making a joke to the representative that, hey, you're coming after my job. Oh, no, this is years away, you guys, nothing to worry about. Well, it's coming. It is here. Before I get started, because it's going to be I'm going to warn you, this is going to be a longer video of mine. Let me start with a beer. Drinking the Czech Bar Dark. Alright. So, this last week, there's a couple links down below. There was a news story broke out here in Las Vegas, and the big news in the business out here is that MGM Resorts International is planning to put some of these drink dispensing machines into their service bars throughout all their properties out here. Now, if you don't know what a service bar is, when you go to a casino and you walk up to the front bar and you'll see video poker machines and the bartender, or again, that's called a front bar. If you go to play on a table game or a slot machine and the lovely cocktail waitress comes by and asks your drink order, she gets those drinks from what's called a service bar in the back of the house. You don't see it, but back there's a bartender that makes those drinks for her. And what MGM Resorts International is wanting to do is, from what I gather, is install these drink machines and eliminate that bartender. Which means less bartenders. Now, before we get started, I gotta give a disclaimer. I've always said that I bartend on the Strip. I'm a Las Vegas bartender, but I've never discussed where I work, what company I work for, what bar I work at, and I'm not doing that here. I'm not claiming to work for any company that gets mentioned in this video. I'm not claiming to have insider knowledge. I'm not releasing any insider knowledge. Everything I'm talking about is pretty much public knowledge, either through the links I've got down below, things exposed on Facebook, just general knowledge. So I'm not bringing anything, I'm not violating any terms of any agreements, if that makes any sense to you. Also, in full disclosure, because I'm afraid this discussion, when the last few weeks or last couple days, whoever I've had with fellow bartenders, people, this always becomes greedy corporations versus the little guy, or these stockholders are doing this and that. And I'm a stockholder. I own stock in other companies. I invest. I like profit. This is not what, this is about. I'm honest with it up front. Also, even though this video is probably going to be me bemoaning robots replacing bartenders, I do use technology. I use the self-checkout line. Oddly enough, the day I'd heard about this, I had to go to the grocery store, and I thought, well, I'll go in the regular line. Human contact, why not? And of course, then I'm behind the person in line that's the chatty Cathy that has all these different coupons that brought 47 items to the 10 item or less line, and then I realized, oh yeah, that's why I use self-checkout. So again, I'm not against technology. Just wanted to be open and upfront about that. What I don't want this video to be about, and what I don't want to see in the comment section below, even though I want tons of comment, I want a conversation about this throughout whatever social media platform reminds you happen to use. What I don't want this about is first, I don't want this to be anti-technology. Again, I'm not against technology. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm shooting this with a smartphone. I have satellite radio. I enjoy some technology. Even though down below I'll put a link to a video that kind of just talks about the future technology, and some of this stuff that's coming down is pretty mind-boggling. I thought somebody sent it to me. I thought it was just a neat video. It talks about stuff that's outside the context of the good old Plat R channel and what I talk about here. Also, I don't want this to come about again as I'm against corporations or capitalism versus socialism or universal basic income or politics, Democrats, Republicans, God forbid Trump. None of that. I don't want it in the comment section. And to be honest, I don't think it's as pertinent as people think it is to this topic. So I don't want to discuss any of that. I'm not going to get into it, and I'll delete it out of the comment section if I see people getting too political. Let's start off with what's going on in Vegas first with this automation and kind of what's to come. A while back, Ceasar's Entertainment started doing a deal where if you sit in a bar that has the video poker machines, normally you throw in your money. If you play maximum coin or play whatever level, you get complimentary drinks, and you take care of the bartender. He comes around more often. Well, now, or about I guess a year or two ago, Ceasar's did a deal on the back side of their computers. They'd have a red light and a green light, and if it was a green light, they could serve you. If not, no free drink. You had to earn the drink. And there's a link down below to the next couple stories. At a hotel called Vidara, which is a non-gaming hotel on the Strip, they now have a robot that delivers room service. They'll throw in your bacon and eggs and your cup of coffee and this thing, and it keeps it warm. And it goes to the elevator, and it tells the elevator where to go, and he gets out of the elevator and it knows where to get your room, and they'll let you know it's there, and you take out your bacon and eggs, you got it. Robots. Speaking of robots, about, I want to say 2 years ago, I think, at Planet Hollywood, there's a bar, not inside the casino, but in the shops area, that has a robot with 2 arms that shakes drinks, cuts limes, mixes, whatever. And it's in the middle of the room. Everybody pays attention to the robot. All these tables focused where you can watch this robot make drinks. Now, there's a human there to make sure you're 21, and I think it's a cocktail server that brings the drinks that you order. But you'll go to this little, I think it's a glorified iPad or whatever that you use to order your drinks and whatever, and then you'll pay through the machine or whatever. And the only human there is that cocktail, again, to make sure you're 21. But the robot makes the drinks for you. And then again, there's a link to that. Sorry, I'm using my notes. I want to stay focused because I could really ramble on this. What's to come? What's next? I got a video down below about what's going on in the kitchens across the country and across the world with this technology. It's not just a bartender thing. It's back of the house kitchen. And not just something that cuts onions faster. We're talking about menu development AI, stuff like that could even affect like chefs. Yeah, not everybody, no one's safe in this deal. Where's coming to you, the guest, or where this technology is going? Right now, Hard Rock Casino, I know because I sat at one of these bars. If you're playing video poker, instead of the light system like at Caesar's, they have a ticket deal where once you've earned the drink, it'll give you the ticket that you have to give to the bartender. If you don't have that ticket, no free drink. Obviously, you could buy a drink, but no free drink. You have to wait for that ticket to come out. Well, word on the street, best way to put it, is that several casinos are looking to implement that on the floor. In the past, if you would, let's say you were going to meet people for dinner at 7 and you got down the casino floor at 6:30 or whatever, you and some friends would sit down at a bank of slot machines, throw a couple bucks in, play, cocktail girl comes by, get a round of drinks, you take care of her, she might come back by again. You'll get your, and their drinks were complimentary. Well, now you got to earn that drink. And the reality is there'll be less earned drinks under the new system, which means probably less drinks going out, which means less need for less cocktail waitresses. The next logical step after that would be, well, we can eliminate the cocktail waitress. You just take the ticket and walk up to the bar and get the drink yourself. Some buffets out here have eliminated servers, and you get your own drink. They've made servers glorified bussers. Some casinos out here are eliminating front desk help. You just check in and out through a kiosk. They've eliminated the bellman in some casinos out here. There's just more to come. They're going to use technology where they can. Is it good or is it bad? That's up to you. Where I want to focus on in this video or discuss is three groups. Again, I don't want to talk about the politics or the corporate stuff. I want to focus on three groups or three ideas. What all this means to Las Vegas. What does this mean to my brother and sister bartenders? And finally, the people that are forgotten this thing, the guest. Las Vegas. A lot of people think, well, all right, it's just a gambling destination. But there's gambling in Mississippi, there's gambling in Florida, there's gambling in New Jersey, there's gambling all over the place. There's bars, restaurants all over the place. Vegas is not the only city in America where you can walk up and down the street with an open container of alcohol. It's not any of those things, but it's a concept. It's an idea. And even these millennials, that these casinos are so clamoring for, they still have an idea of old Vegas in their head. Yeah, they don't listen to Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra, but they still have heard the stories. They've still seen movies like Casino and whatever, and they still have heard, hey, you can gamble a little bit and get a free drink, and the town's 24 hours, and we can have this, and I can meet, the bartender that wants, new Don Rickles or something like that. They still want that interaction. They still like the idea that, hey, maybe I can slide the guy an extra $5 and he parks my car up front or what have you. And there was always those relationships back in the day. Give the maitre d' $20, you got that great table. If you gave the gal behind the desk, a 10 spot, she'd get you that, room with the view. There's always these relationships out there, and people still today, again, even though it's not the Rat Pack Day, they still like that idea. They still want that. But you're not going to get it. If you replace that maitre d', if you take him out, if you replace that bartender, you replace the front desk person, or they're just not that. You're going to have all the personality of a Marriott in Omaha, Nebraska. And actually, that probably has more personality than some of these casinos do now. You're going to take it out. You're going to make what Vegas used to be about. You're just going to eliminate that. And what's frustrating is if you think about it, and again, I understand the need for profit, totally understand it, but let's think about it. 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you had uneducated mobsters running the places. They comped everything. They weren't trying to make profit off food and beverage or hotels. Food and beverage was reasonable. And on top of that, the mob skimmed millions of dollars off these casinos. And they still made money. Well, nowadays, you've got these college-educated CEOs with master's degrees, this, that, and the other. They charge for everything in their casinos. And, they make profit off every department now. They synergize, shift paradigms, build win-win relationships. And they're trying to tell me, well, we're not making enough. We can't, we're going broke. Stop it. Next, I want to talk to my fellow bartenders. One of the things that kind of came out in some of the discussions I've had since this news came out here was I know a lot of bartenders that work in restaurants, nightclubs, high-end lounges, the mixologist types, or they work in other departments. They don't have contact with that service bartender. In their mind, well, you can't replace me. Well, those guys. Well, I'm a fancy pants bartender. I'm young, I'm hip, I'm cool, and then no, sorry, pal, you're replaceable. You're getting older, and you're replaceable. Yeah, it'll probably be a few years before a lot of the restaurants go to this, but if you're one of these chefs, well, you don't want it to be about the bartenders. It's your place with your name and your ego. So if you can eliminate that bar and add a few more tables, or maybe they get sold on a fancy new robot, someone sells them on the idea, and why not? We're all replaceable, except unless we add value. Something I've talked about with younger bartenders, and I can't encourage more. There's some things a good bartender knows you can't quantify. That the robot, even it knows how to make drinks as well as you can't quantify the ability to recommend restaurants, tell the history of Las Vegas to people, to upsell something else in the hotel, to help the guests create that unique experience. And this is something I beg my other bartenders, again, sharpen your skill. That robot, well, for now, won't be able to tell you about great wines or this, that, and the other. I'm sure in the future there'll be something like that, and I'm sure eventually robots will have personality, which scares the hell out of me. But I just want to encourage my fellow bartender, add value. Also, if you are affected by this, and I'm not claiming to be indirectly affected or directly affected, indirectly we're all affected by this. I beg you, don't take it out on the customer. If you're mad, understandable, don't take it out on the customer. Last but not least, I want to talk to the guests that come out here. Again, I'm not claiming which casino I work for, or this, that, and the other, or that I'm in management or anything like that. I just want to first just apologize, because I think what's being done to you is horrendous. Again, Vegas took a lot of pride on giving a guest an exceptional experience. And because Vegas wasn't worried about making money with food and beverage, hotels, this, that, and the other, the average man could come out and have a hotel room or have a dinner that he could not afford in New York or LA or whatever. Have an experience that they couldn't get before. Also, again, it was that personal. If you knew that bartender at the front bar of Ceasar's back in the 70s, or this, that, and the other, the old Riviera, the old Sahara, the old Stardust, and you knew this cocktail waitress and this, that, and the other, you're losing that. And unfortunately, it's not just that. First they said resort fees, because they want to be able to say $99 a night on Expedia or Travelocity, even though they really charge you $125 because they charge a $26 a night rooms, resort fee. They told you, well, it's for internet and for our parking and this, that, and all these miscellaneous things they said it would cover. But then they came back and charged you for parking. And their excuse, well, they do it in LA and we have a chance to make money on it. Why not? Yeah, why not? Then they, will up prices on weekends and big events and New Year's. Like I said, in the buffets, now they make you get the drink, so a server bring it. Valet, valet they charge. They're giving you less humans to talk to. They're just nickel diming you. And the worst part is, in their mind, they think, well, we got you. You have to come to Vegas, and especially now that it's a convention-driven town. Well, you've got to come out to that big meeting. We're going to get the most out of you no matter what. And if you voluntarily come out, it's still, people have to make decisions. Well, I was going to play a little bit more, but crap, I depend this much on dinner and I got nickel dime for this, and don't touch the mini bar in your hotel room. Good Lord. Or that bottle of water they'll charge you $8 for. I truly apologize. And unfortunately, I think it's because these presidents of these hotels, these CEOs, they don't interact with guests. Back in the day, you had a guy like Benny Binion, Steve Wynn, Bill Boyd, Kirk Gregorian. These guys had their names on the buildings. These guys, a lot of them lived on property. They interacted with the guests. These guys are running these casinos now. They're not going to talk to you. They don't know you unless you're a celebrity or maybe a high roller. And again, that I apologize for. Even though I have nothing to do with it, I apologize. It makes me feel bad. It really, some of the discussions I have with these guests, it's kind of heartbreaking. Because they've been coming 20, 30 years plus, and they knew what Vegas used to be, and now we're telling them we don't care anymore. And that is disgusting. All right, with that being said, what do? Where does this go? I am not for just raging or rioting or striking or flipping cars. You know, if you want to write your congressman or whatever, feel free. But I don't want this to come from a point of anger. Just I ain't got the energy for it, if anything else. What I want to encourage everybody to do, what I think is a positive way to get after this is, if you've ever been to one of these casinos out here and you had a positive experience with a human, whether it was your server at that steakhouse, the real nice lady at the front desk, your favorite cocktail waitress, that bartender that recommended, you know, that great steakhouse or whatever, or told that vaguely dirty joke that you like. If you've ever had one of those positive experiences, please let these casino companies know that, hey, I interacted with a human that you call an employee, and I had a positive experience. And because of that, I may spend more money at your casino that employs that human. I will leave links down below to the major casino companies out here: Ceasar Entertainment, MGM Resorts, Wynn, Venetian, Boyd, Stations, etc. I'll leave them down there, and just feel free to let them know. Let them know that you've had a good time, they had a good experience. There's tons of great professionals out here, and I think they should be patted on the back. And I encourage you to do that. Maybe, I still believe there's some professionals in this town, in upper management, and people that realize that, hey, we do make money when the guests show up, and we want them to kind of like the product at least, and that if they like a bartender or a cocktail waitress, you know what, let's keep it. Let's not do this. Hopefully calmer heads will prevail. I normally ask you at this point to subscribe or this, that, and the other. I ask you to share this video. Please share this video. Hopefully get conversation, get people thinking about this topic. And again, I don't want to be, even though I labeled it robot versus bartenders, I don't want this to be an anti-technology thing. I actually hope it makes people appreciate the humans that you interact with, and whatever, not just hospitality. If you go to a grocery store and the nice lady at the checkout counter, or your favorite pharmacist, whatever it is, let people know you like humans. Well, until next time, bottoms up.